Welcome to the What's Left podcast on the Derealization Nation News Network on YouTube and Substack, also on Apple Pods.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the What's Left podcast, the Derealization Nation Network. My name is John, here with my brother Jake and my friend Brad, here to sift through the wreckage of last week and talk about what's left. Got cheap equipment, no budget, plenty of heart, and a little bit of talent. We're here in the punk rock garage band of podcast, adding our voices to resistance as loudly as we can. The Derealization Nation is growing. Every week, we're gaining followers, subscribers, and that's very, very exciting. So thank you all for being here. Continue to like our videos on YouTube and Substack. Subscribe if you haven't already, and please tell your friends and fellow travelers. We've produced our first issue of our bi-weekly workers newsletter on the Derealization Substack, so be sure to check that out. Also, our YouTube page regularly shares videos from other reputable sources for news not run by the state, so be sure to check that out as well. It pays to follow us, and it's free. So thank you all. We love you. Let's get to it. Brad, how you doing out there, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing all right, brother. Doing all right. One day closer to Friday. I'm doing all right. Just wanna give a little shout out to my brother Bobby. Just know that I'm proud of you beyond measure, kid. That's all I wanted to make sure I got that out today.
Awesome. Thinking about you, bud. Jake, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
Glad to have you here. Glad to be here with you guys. Before we get started, I want to echo something maybe that not every news outlet is necessarily, in my opinion anyway, been amplifying quite enough. And that's that all these things that DOGE has supposedly uncovered, right? It's all public record already. Also, their total savings is almost nil. An actual accountant finally got a hold of the numbers that they supposedly had saved and immediately was able to take their number of 55 billion, which is already paltry compared to what they promised, and cut it down to like $8 billion. It's not even close to even having been worth it. And the access that they have, they don't need, right? Because this is already public. So for whatever reason, so the reasons that they're here is obviously not to cut costs. They didn't bring accountants. They didn't even bring good coders. All the departments not named defense, they pass an audit yearly, right? The institutions are incredibly efficient already, far more efficient than any private organization. Health insurance, for example, Medicaid is far more efficient than regular health insurance. Social Security's error rate is 0.84%, less than 1% error rate. So that's, I mean, it doesn't get much more efficient than that as it is. So this is about something else. It's about Musk getting into the government, dismantling the agencies designed to keep the economy and the markets fair and free. It's a power grab and nothing else. It's not like the U.S. has stringent regulation as it is, but this war on regulation, which is reaching crescendo now, has caused recessions, bubbles, and all-out crashes. And despite all its failings, the GOP continues this Reagan crusade against the government and regulations, and they've even gotten Democrats to play along at times. Regulations protect the people from predatory billionaires, systemically dismantling them and wreaking havoc on consumers and workers. So make no mistake, Musk and the GOP are not here to save money. Their policies cost trillions. Their cuts account for next to nothing. George Bush took us from a surplus to a recession. Donald Trump took us from stability to stagnation. And now he's taking us from growth to a new gilded age, and prayerfully, we will avoid another crash and, God forbid, a depression. If Elon has his way, he will reshape the entire face of the planet in his bid to establish his neo-Nazi dystopia from those ashes. The Dems have been adept at messaging, and the GOP has been adept at disparaging and dismantling education, and that's why they've been successful. The propaganda machine is incredible, and it can do serious damage if given a void like the one created by former President Biden. The machine has now entered its final form with the pitch of all social media outlets. Yes, even TikTok. So the truth will be even more critical to hold on to now more than ever. We must not be silent. We must use whatever voice we have, call out fascism as loudly as we can. This is the fight of our lives, fellas. So let's get to it. All right.
Can you define fascism?
So just get the definition right off the internet. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalistic political ideology and movement, characterized by the dictator, centralized autocracy, militarism, and forcible suppression of opposition. So when I talk about state media, that's fascism, right? Because they control all of the state media. We talk about a dictator, right? And when you have communism, you also have a dictator. That's the fault of communism. That's where socialism fails. Too far to the left when it becomes communism. So authoritarian
Isn't it?
to the right.
Don't they describe it as a line, but it's really just a circle?
It's more of a circle, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and then the nationalistic part of it too. But also, you know what I mean. So it's this idea of America first.
Yeah.
That makes it like Germany first of the Nazis, right? And you start cutting out trade partners and allies, when things become very dangerous. Because we need the better that we work together as a globe. It's been proven the more prosperous we all are and the safer we all are. So fascism is a pulling back of that. It's all about, well, what about us? We got to take care of us, me and mine. Got to take care of those things. So that's fascism in a nutshell. It's a good question.
Okay. I knew it already. I just wanted to ask.
No, you're right. It is important that we define these things. We do talk about this stuff a lot. So that's good. That's real good. All right. Well, you guys want to get to our favorite segment, the old punch in the turd bowl?
Yep.
Yep.
It's time for punch.
People have to flush their toilet 15
in the turd bowl.
Toilets.
All right. It's time for everybody's favorite segment. We make like an off-duty German porn star and get this shit off our chest. It's time for punch in the turd bowl. All right. The Fruitopia Fuhrer declares himself king. The U.S. joins the Axis powers. Measles makes a comeback. Infant deaths are up. Ding Dong Musk and the Lost Boys fire hordes of people in charge of preventing nuclear disaster. Infectious disease, veterans, and more. Trump endorses a budget which cuts $880 billion in Medicaid in less than 12 hours after promising not to touch it. The unjust cruelty and ineptitude of deportations, just to name a few. It's a lot of turds this week. Let's see who brings out the worst stinker. All right, Brad, lead us off, buddy.
So, I have realized that Donald Trump's entire plan is to create as much chaos as possible. So, I've chosen not to pick that today because I realize that there's so much misinformation and he just keeps pumping out stories that it's hard to bring the full scope of whatever is being discussed completely factual, and I don't want to do that. So mine today is going to be our state government and how they are going against the will of the people. So Ohio Senate Bill 56 is the gutting of a law that 57% of Ohioans passed, even in our incredibly conservative state. 57% of Ohioans voted to legalize recreational marijuana. As a people, we did this together, and now they have introduced a bill to gut that. They now want to change the tax rate from 10% to 15%, which only increases the price of getting it safely through a dispensary where it's regulated. And it also has people leaning towards purchasing off the streets again because the price has changed. So now you're taking away that aspect of the safety of going through actual stores that are regulated, and so that's taken away. They are also trying to make it to where if I have marijuana growing in my house and I want to gift you a plant, that's now illegal. I cannot. It would be illegal. Sorry, none of this has taken place yet. It's simply a bill in the Senate. I don't want to. Nothing is illegal yet. Either way, so I would not be able to gift you marijuana.
To be fair, nothing is technically legal yet anyway because they continue to slow walk the bill out.
Yes. So they want to do that. They want to limit the number of dispensaries that can be owed in the state of Ohio, which essentially stops the idea of actually being able to compete for business, and allows them to essentially set the price for everything. And if those 350 stores are all on board, then there is no competition. There is no, there's no searching for the best price. This is what you're going to pay, and you're also going to pay a 15% tax on it. This essentially just allows for, this would allow for the wealthiest people to purchase all of the licensures to the dispensaries and set the prices and continue to make money. So, as where this can be used as an opportunity for individuals like me or you to start their own small businesses, they are now attempting to put it in the hands of the wealthy, which is not the point of this whole movement. None of this was to make the rich richer. They are now making it illegal to travel with it in your car anywhere. Again, it would make it illegal to travel with it in your car within your personal reach. So the same way, if you don't have a CCW, well, prior to the law changing, you would have to keep your weapon in the trunk. They're essentially saying the same thing for marijuana. If you were a passenger in the car, they're saying that you cannot be under the influence of marijuana in that car, which is insane to me because we have free will. But I also think that they should decriminalize all drugs, but that's a story for another day. But so our lawmakers in our state are actively going against the will of the people. Like the people voted. That's the biggest thing. Like all these things that they're wanting to change, the deeper lying issue is that they're going against the will of the people. The people that we have put into these positions are now actively working against us. And it is made abundantly clear with this issue. When you can get 57% of Ohio to agree on anything, and now you're trying to gut the whole system. It is truly disgusting that these people are supposed to be working for us, and they prove every day that they're actually not at all.
Yeah, and I can make that nationally relevant very easily because it is. That's just the GOP game plan. Jacob asked the other week, like, is this about not voting in local elections? And it is. This is what happens. We don't pay attention to who we vote into local elections and stuff like that. Do they share our values? Are they going to listen to people? First and foremost, because no matter what you think about the marijuana bill, 56% of people voted for it, right? They also try to change the way that, because so not only did they are they doing this now, before it happened, they tried actively with both this bill and the abortion bill to try to make it so that Ohioans can no longer bring bills to the call, because we can write a bill. Like me, you, and Brad can sit down, write a bill. If we get enough signatures, it gets voted on in the Ohio State House. That's how it works in our state and a lot of states. Like, because we don't have to wait for our lawmakers to do it. We can force them to vote on something. So we did it with marijuana and with abortion, both things, right? But they tried to change that law in our every election, pretty much. They try to change that law to make it so that can't happen, right? And this is what they do all the time. They anything that does pass, they attack it. It's like the GOP is always the government doesn't work for you. But it's like that Eric Andre, where he's like got the gun, he shoots the dude in the couch, like, what happened? It's like, the government doesn't work. You shot the government, right? Like you're the reason that it doesn't work. And then just I wanted to mention too, like you mentioned that only the rich. It's actually they're prioritizing as well the people who already have medical licenses in this state, which part of the bill that we originally tried to pass in this state wanted to open those licenses up to anybody, but they have to buy from a certain group. Nick Lachey and some very rich people lead that group, and they will have first dibs on the recreational licenses as well, because they're already established as medical growers. So yeah, excellent turd. Definitely got a stench to it.
Yeah, you were talking about issue 1, essentially, is what they had us voting on before. And they were trying to make it to where if you wanted to change anything, you had to have 60% of votes instead of it being a simple majority, which it is now. Yep. So if you voted incorrectly and you voted, I think we wanted to vote yes on issue 1. I can't remember, it's been a while now, but I think we wanted to vote yes. So if you would have voted no and that would have passed, we'd have needed 60% of the votes to change any law in Ohio. You would have had to get signatures from all 88 counties in the state, which is, I don't know, impossible, right? You go to a super conservative area of the state and bring any progressive idea, and it's just going to get shot down immediately. And
literally the minimum wage one, they were unable to hit all the counties because people were chasing off the porches with guns. Like that was
Yes.
one of the reasons they couldn't get signatures in certain counties.
That's what they wanted to do, and they tried to make it seem like it was good for us. That was
Oh,
hilarious. I'll never forgive him for that one, dude. That was hilarious.
yeah. What a great joke that was. We
Yeah.
laughed.
We laughed and laughed. I'm glad that it didn't. I mean, Ohioans actually showed up like more than
Yeah.
they ever would for a special election. Actually showed up and let their voice be heard.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to show how badly gerrymandered the state is too.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah. Just for instance, the place where I was in prison is a town of 2 people that is 100 miles south of here. So they probably don't have the same needs, perhaps, or they don't think they have the same needs as Youngstown, which is a small city, but a city nonetheless. But we are the same district. So we are represented in Congress by the same person. It is night and day, Youngstown to Caldwell. It's not close. It's not comparable. Google Maps it if you like. You know, Caldwell's a spot on the side of a mountain, and Youngstown is a rusting away old still town. They have different needs and different priorities, and they should not be the same district, but they are because looping Caldwell in dilutes Youngstown's blue vote, and this is part of the problem. So, and this is not just Ohio. So this is relevant nationally. This happens, and pretty much if your state is red, they're doing this to you. I talked a little bit about it during the SAVE Act. You know, Louisiana does it. This stuff happens all the time. This is part of the GOP's plan to maintain power because their ideas are incredibly unpopular.
Right.
Just awful. Incredibly
unpopular. Yeah, it seems like instead of trying to trick your constituents, it would be easier to just change your fucking outdated ways.
No.
Right? It seems like that would just be the simple solution would just be to just be better. Like appeal to voters. Don't try and manipulate them into voting for you.
That part.
Mm-hmm. But when you envision yourself a crusader, like Pete Hegseth, bringing the righteous war of God to people, you don't just quit.
Quote my favorite drag queen. If the Lord can lead you to it, he can lead you through it.
I love it. All right, guys, let's take a break and then we'll get to mine and Jake's turns. It's going to go unnoticed by listeners because we still don't have any sponsors, but added to the list of people who won't be sponsoring us this week is Airbnb. Should have known you all were trash when you started slurping up real estate in major cities, charging hidden fees at double the price. But now you want to lick Elon's boots on top of everything else? Hey, fuck you, buddy. I'm going to stay at a place that doesn't want me to do chores on my way out the door. Strip your own sheets, bitch. We'll be right back.
Check out our Substack for our bi-weekly newsletter for all things related to workers' rights, labor, and the living wage.
Welcome back to the What's Left podcast. Let's get right back into it. We were going through our top turds of the week, and we got through Brad's. Time for Jake's. Jake, what do you got for us this week, buddy?
So mine's a little bit on the sad side. Mine is the story of Elisa Ray Shoup, who ended her life wrapped in her transgender flag on January 27, 2025. Ms. Shoup committed suicide just 7 days after Trump began signing a raft of toxic anti-trans executive orders, accumulating in an EO stating that trans service members' sexuality conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life, and is harmful to military readiness. Elisa is the first person to legally identify as a non-binary person. Later, she detransitioned and was used as a pawn by people like Kathy Brennan and used at trans conversion therapy story. Her story is being used. So Elisa emailed her suicide note to several mainstream media outlets, hoping her story would be told. None of them did. At first, reported on Substack that wanted her note to be read. It's wanted to be read, and I will share it with you because it's something that should be heard, I guess. It starts, "Fuck you, America. I don't want your hatred. I don't want the military decorations and medals you awarded me. I don't want your pension money for my distinguished military service and service-connected disabilities. I don't want your healthcare to treat the mental illness you caused. I don't want more psychiatric ward commitments to keep me alive in a nation that I despise. I don't want to be buried in any of your state or national cemeteries for veterans and military retirees. I don't want to be buried anywhere on American soil. I don't want any military honors or ceremonies to mark my death. I don't want my ashes to be stored on American soil. I want my ashes or remains to be spread or buried in international waters. I don't want your flag anywhere near my body, remains, or ashes. I don't want any members of my family other than my spouse to be on the vessel that disposes of my ashes or remains. My death is not a surrender. My death as a member of the third gender and transgender population does not mean you won. It solely marks the end of our association. You are not the land of the free. You are not a country getting made great again. Too much demonstrated hatred throughout your existence extinguishes any claim to previous greatness. You are a cesspool of zealots that worship a god that does not and has not ever existed. Enjoy your new royal family and third world dictator. I refuse to participate any further. Have that Nazi piece of shit Elon Musk and his DOGE henchmen deduct the savings from my 93,000 of federal pensions from your bankrupt coffers. The white man decimated and massacred the indigenous population of the third gender on the lands now called America. It was only fitting that a white person restored it. You cannot erase non-binary and transgender people because you give birth to more of us each day.
Damn. I don't even know what to add to that. It's so sad. And this is someone who served
Honorably.
Yeah. Decorated.
We care about the veterans.
We do.
It's just further proof that they don't care about anybody.
No.
They don't care about anyone. They don't care that they were a veteran. They don't care about any of that.
No.
You serve a purpose in America, and that is it. Once you are done serving your purpose, you are of no use to them.
No. None.
It's why they don't stop Alzheimer's, because you're too old. Sorry, get out of the way.
She also had to move to Pittsburgh to continue her gender affirming care because her state did not legalize it. Sorry, that was a heavy one.
That was heavy.
But no
So
one's
sorry. They transitioned post-military, or transitioned pre-military, and then detransitioned post-military? Okay.
But she was the first legally non-binary person, so X.
In America.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and then she was used as a pawn when she continued just to be trans as like a conversion story. Like, guess who transitioned back? You can too.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Jane from Jane Roe from Roe v. Wade. They used to trot her out. The abortion rights people actually paid her big money to come and speak at their rallies and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've just been reading blogs about Elisa and her life and stuff, and the people who've met her just loved her.
Yeah.
It's amazing. These beautiful people just tossed to the side and hated.
I was briefly TikToking this week, and I saw a couple of people reading the suicide note. I thought it was
that's where I first heard her story, and I'm glad people are sharing this information.
I'm glad to add to that voice.
Because something like this will not be hidden, especially with our generation, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah. Elisa Ray Shoup. Lisa Ray Shoup. All right. I also have the LGBTQ plus hotline helplines that I'm going to be posting up on the screen here. If you are in any sort of trouble or feeling any type of way, these are the hotlines that can help. On the screen now. All right. Thank you for that, Jake.
Yeah. There's also some, I had not read into it yet, but they're something about Stonewall, and they're taking down shit at Stonewall.
Yeah.
Our biggest movement.
Mm-hmm.
by a transgender woman.
That was a whole other thing. Man,
I did not read the story, and I have not had the time to read into it, and I apologize. But
Yeah.
I know something else is stirring around it.
Let's talk about that next week, because
Yeah.
I believe there was a big rally there, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
So a very, very big response. So thank you, Jake. All right. Well, mine is not quite as personal, but it is a giant, giant turd. So I guess I'm gonna call the turd as a title, maybe just Ukraine, but perhaps it's just our foreign policy altogether, our sudden switching of playing for the good guys, playing for the bad guys. But see, now Elon Musk has power in a lot of places, the president does not. But one place that Trump holds tremendous constitutional authority is in foreign policy. There's little check in that power from Congress, even legally. So this one, unlike DOGE, is legal and within the president's purview.
What is Doge? Because all I can think of is that stupid dog meme.
That's what it was. So it was a dog meme that became a shit coin that Musk used to
I did know it was a coin thing. I did know that.
I got the rug pulled from me the first time that happened. Not in a too terrible way, but that's how I learned my lesson about shit coins. And now it's the Department of Government Efficiency, supposedly, but it's just a troll, is what it is. So we had
headed by Elon. The Department of Government Efficiency is headed by Elon. It was confirmed today by a senator, I believe, said something.
Yeah, or it's not, or it is, or it isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what's just quickly on that subject, this may be what Tanya Chutkan was doing in court. She may have just gotten them to perjure themselves, because they, in a sworn affidavit, they said that he was not the head of government officials, and now publicly they have admitted over and over again that he is. This may have been 4D chess. They want, the Republicans want you to believe that Trump is playing 4D chess while Putin feeds him his crayons, but this might actually be 4D chess. So, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the damage foreign policy thing that even Republicans are having trouble understanding. So if you're not familiar, so they had an initial round of U.S.-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday with no Ukraine. So they talked about peace in Ukraine without Ukraine, which prompted condemnation from Ukraine and Europe, obviously. Trump then went on TV and blamed Zelensky for being invaded. He doubled down on his criticism Wednesday, claiming that Zelensky's done a terrible job of leading the war-torn country, accusing him of taking advantage of Washington with all the aid the U.S. has forked over in the last 3 years, and demanded $500 billion of rare earth minerals be given to the United States. And those mining tracts, by the way, would be going to Russia in perpetuity as payback for the money we gave to Ukraine in the form of weapons systems. That's the reality. The support that we've given Ukraine has pumped energy into the American economy as weapons manufacturers up production, replenish U.S. supplies. It's kind of like taking money from one pocket and putting it in the other. That's without taking into account the damage that Ukraine has inflicted on Russia over the past 3 years. It's been a damn fine investment, in fact, thanks to Ukrainian bravery. The Russian military and economy are in shambles. Ukraine actually holds parts of Russia, so they would have leverage in any real negotiation. Trump is instead splitting the pot with Putin like he plans to do with Netanyahu in Gaza. Trump has vowed to reinvest in Russia, negating the valiant resistance of Ukraine. DJ is in Putin's pocket, and every international news outlet knows it. They're calling us, and rightfully so, traitors. They call DJ Putin's poodle. JD Vance is out there scolding Europe for defending democracy, and the world is forging a path forward to protect themselves from us. We're officially the bad guys now. Like, that's where we're at. We're the bad guys. Trump went on and warned Zelensky that he'd better move fast to negotiate, or he wouldn't have a country. He's backed elections. He said that Zelensky's approval rating was below 4%. It's below 70% for the first time ever. So it has dropped. What's true is that it's dropped 80% to like below 70, but it's still pretty fucking high, a lot higher than his. And then you have Republicans out there either saying, "Oh, I haven't heard this yet," or "Oh, this is some sort of 4D chess negotiation." And then Nikki fucking Haley, who endorsed Trump because specifically she said, "Well, we need somebody tough, right? Somebody tough."
I didn't know that name.
Nikki Haley, she was the female candidate for president on the GOP side. Yes.
Okay.
She characterized the president's remarks as classic Russian talking points and said the president was giving him exactly what Putin wants. Well, you knew that before the election. You know, you are not the uninformed Republican. She knew very well where he stood before that election, and she should have said it beforehand. It's too fucking late now, Nikki. There's no honor in standing up now. None. Zero. None. You should have done the right thing the first fucking time. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz said that Kiev needs to tone it down. Go fuck yourself. It's also worth mentioning that Saudi Arabia is back on the world stage because of this, a big way under Trump. And there are few countries in the world that have committed more atrocities than Saudi Arabia. They are just some seriously evil people sometimes. They invest in the Trump brand heavy, though. So we're not going to hear about these things anymore. Literal billions of dollars in corrupt dealings happening in broad daylight between Trump and Saudi Arabia. But people were too busy examining Hunter Biden's dick pics to even notice. Everything they wrongfully accused the Biden family of the Trump family does to billions of dollars. Besides currently holding teenage Canadian children hostage currently, murdering a journalist, attempting to assassinate world leaders. On top of all that, maybe this is just because I'm a millennial. This really fucking matters to me, but 15 of the 19 terrorists on 9/11 were from Saudi Arabia. That bothers me. It's insane that we're walking them into the fold until you start to consider the rest of the lineup, right? Benjamin Netanyahu, Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, that Erdogan guy, the Belarus guy, Modi. It tracks, you know? We're the new axis of evil, folks, so congratulations. In World War III, we're the bad guys.
Oh my God, we're the Axis powers.
We're the new Axis powers. Yeah. So that's my turn.
It won't be
I
like
wonder
that.
I wonder if at the end of Trump's term, he'll sign another deal with Saudi Arabia to cut oil production to skyrocket the price of gasoline and then blame it on the incoming president. I wonder if we'll do that again, or if Republicans will even care that he signed a deal cutting production for 3 years, and then magically gas prices came down after Biden's first 3 years, almost like it was because of Donald Trump cutting production to make sure that his billionaire friends could keep making money in the oil industry. Also, let's drive home the point. You said it, but I want to really drive home the point that there is not an ATM machine in Ukraine hooked up to the Federal Reserve. It's not there. It was never there. They're just sending them outdated equipment, which ultimately allows our American industries to thrive because they now have to replace said equipment.
Red states. Where are these Raytheon fucking places? And right to work states, that's for fucking sure. You ain't hiring no union people. That's not Raytheon, not Lockheed Martin, not those fucking establishments.
And they just don't understand that. So I just want to make sure that people understand that it was not dollar bills handed to Ukraine. I want to really drive that home because there's not a Republican in the world who doesn't think that we're just cutting them big fat checks.
That's right. And, Mitch McConnell actually went on TV and said it. Not that, that forgives any of the rest of his sins, being the piece of garbage that he's been his whole life. He's a big part of the problem, the reason that we're here. So I don't want to give him too much credit, but even that guy, who I fundamentally disagree on his very existence, he told the truth about Ukraine. Like, he knows how this works, and that's how it works. We, unfortunately, I don't love this, but this is the way America works. We are the war machine. People buy our weapons. They don't want anybody else. The Soviets are not Soviets. Christ, Russia is Russia is firing their best at Ukraine. And Ukraine, with some duct tape drones and some old American Patriot missiles, is fucking owning them. And that's why people want American weapons. Because ours are just better. Just better.
They're just better.
Yep.
Built different.
Yes. Yeah. Built different. Ah, shit. All right. Any other turn? I think that's good. Let's take a break. Still no sponsor. So long to Coca-Cola as a potential sponsor. Here I was willingly giving myself cancer for that sweet, sweet Diet Coke. So I guess thank you for reminding me it takes truly evil people to market a product which actively harms its own consumers. Keep that toxic waste. Do they still make RC Cola? We'll be back.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out our Substack and YouTube channel at Derealization Nation.
We're back on the What's Left podcast. We're going to get into the meme game now. Everybody's brought something to look at, a little TikTok, a little meme, something. After we get done, we're going to vote on whose turd was the best, whose meme was the best. And we'll start with mine as the first one on the list today. Little TikTok. I thought it was pretty funny.
So basically, that's how I plan to take over the government. Yeah, he's doing it again. This is impossible. The child is only 4 years of age. I just wanted the biggest He's still a bully. Oh yes, you in the back there, you have a question? Yeah, did all of Bonnie fuck up the self-tanner? Because you look 4 times as orange by it. Hey, this is not fair. Please do not refer to me as an oligarch. You can fucking oligarch these balls, you fucking loser. Okay, that's enough. Please take him out. Holy fuck, but it's a joke, not a drag queen. You don't have to get so fucking offended. Out. Get him out. The windmill told me to tell you you're a little bitch.
That's easily the best marshmallow-based comedy you're going to get this year.
Yo, when that video starts and you hear the accent, bro, I fucking cried. God.
That one had me rolling. That was my favorite this week. It has been a sad week, though, on social media. There's lots of sadness. All right, next one is Brad's. We've got a meme. Josh Hader and Jose Duve. Because he's short.
Yeah, spring training started today, bro. Spring training baseball started today. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Spring training baseball has started. Everybody get excited.
Yeah, baseball butts.
Woo! Hell yeah. It's baseball season. That means summer. That means, oh, hell yeah. Maybe we'll have an impeachment before the 4th of July and we can celebrate with some fireworks. Oh, hell yeah. All right. One more to go. It's Jake's.
I like bugs.
Aw, that's cute.
My daddy makes me smoke cigarettes if I don't eat my skinny.
Oh my god.
I got string in my pocket.
My daddy makes me smoke cigarettes. I don't eat my skinny.
Oh, man.
It's so funny because it's so true. They'll tell you the most backward shit and never be a parent and never do things in front of your kids because they will tell their teachers. Anything, they will tell your teachers. Straight up.
Yeah, so I work at an elementary school. They will tell you the craziest stuff, bro. Craziest.
I opened my Red Bull the other day and he said, "You drinking a beer?" And I said, "No, I'm not." They're like, "Please don't tell your parents." We can go home. Mr. Jake was drinking a beer.
Oh no. All right, guys, real quick, let's get a ranking. Who's turd, Brad? Who's turd? 3, 2, 1.
It's got to be Jake's just because of it's a very real life experience of like this is affecting real people. Like real human beings are being affected by Donald Trump's actions every day, by this administration's actions every day. People need to understand that it's not like some big like huge thing. There are very real individuals whose lives are forever changed because of the actions of one man, and it's disgusting. And I think that it needs to be the focal point, and people need to understand that there are individuals whose lives will be forever changed because of this administration.
Amen. Amen to that.
So, and then I can't pick myself. So I picked you.
True. I read about that. But since Steve is not here and will never be able to catch up, you are going to get the 1 point.
Okay, well, I'm biased because I love weed, so I'm going to say Brad. And I didn't know that about them already revoking.
Yeah, man, they fucking hate us.
They do. I remember lighting one up when it was passed.
Yeah.
Outside my car this time.
That was like the fact that we can almost get 60% of Ohio to be like, yeah, this is a good idea. And then the lawmakers are just like, listen, you guys don't know what you want. Yeah. It's disgusting.
All right, so Jake wins the turd this week, which means he's still in the lead. Brad maintains second place with second place, and I have 5 in third place. But that's before the memes. So give us the meme, Brad. Who's your favorite meme?
Oh, I'm definitely 100% picking you. That fucking accent kills me, dude. I was crying.
That's good. I like that. So that gives Jake a 2, and Brad gets the 1. All right, Jake, who's your favorite?
Unfortunate to give you more points, but fucking booger on the desk.
Biggest fucking booger on your desk. So that means Brad gets 2 and you get 1. And I love the one because it's baseball. Because it's baseball, I basically picked the winner here. Well, not really.
He's fucking rigged the game. This sounds like a fucking inside job.
I'm gonna tie you guys up. I'm gonna give it 3-1. You guys are tied now for the week.
Yeah. What did I get?
Not for the week, for the entire thing. You're tied.
So who is first?
You guys are tied for first.
Yeah, but who'd you pick?
Oh, so I had to pick. So if I give Brad 3, Jake 2, me 1, it goes.
My daddy makes me smoke cigarettes.
Actually, though, I did get 7 points with that one, and what happened last? I might not be tied with you guys, but I'm going to be real close. It's going to be tight. It's tight. It's like the NFL. I just make sure it stays real close. You know what I mean?
It's a tight finish. We fucking need people to see this just so we can get outside votes.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. All right. So something else I want to share this week is just this fucked up idea of masculinity in the
anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. It is
anywhere.
But it's definitely being pushed by this side. It's part of their brand. So I don't know how people look at Trump and that melty, disgusting body and think like that's what the dude looks like, or fucking Elon Musk just look out there looking like Winnie the fucking Pooh.
Like South Park sketch characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's my idea of like what manhood should be. That's my idea of masculinity. I just don't understand it. I actually have a clip I want to play of Stephen Miller screeching essentially. So give me a second. Keep it up. And I want to get you guys' reaction after the clip. Just briefly. I think though that this is something we should address maybe every week. Just this idea of just because they're actually talking about like it's possible that Trump is trying to free Andrew Tate essentially and bring him to the United States.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So it's something to watch. It's something to keep an eye on.
The guy that was arrested for fucking sex trafficking? That one?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Andrew fucking Tate?
The one who brags about sex trafficking.
How many times is too many? I mean, you can say what you want, but everybody's seen the picture of Trump and Epstein. So you can say he disbarred him or whatever, blase, skip, da 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 da. I don't give a shit. If you knew the ship was sinking, you'd get off of it, Donald Trump. That's exactly what happened with that. And then he's literally on video talking about how great of a man Diddy was.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to release a man charged with sex trafficking. Bro, what the fuck is happening? Like, what?
These are not men. These are not men. JD Vance is out here defending a guy who said normalize Indian hate. His wife and children are Indian. What part of being a man is that? Part of being a human being is that?
It's cowardly.
Unbelievable. I'm gonna play this clip of Stephen Miller real quick. Not our Stephen Miller, different Stephen.
Of the federal government. You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not
you
asserting,
may
I
assert
don't
there's
think
no
anyone
waste in
would assert
HHS.
that, Stephen. Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted? Every day no action is taken. The entire salaries of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
This is
we're not having a debate.
There's no reason
about whether there are places.
You are clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be about the fact that we are saving Americans billions of dollars, that we are ending the theft and waste and grift and corruption, that we are stopping American taxpayer dollars from subsidizing a rogue federal bureaucracy.
I think that's good enough. You get the point. This is Stephen Miller screeching, just like screeching, like.
And women would be too emotional to roll. Just look at that man.
Thank you.
That was disgusting.
Right.
And don't gaslight her into debating you. Ew.
What a fucking creep. What a fucking creep. It's unbelievable to me. This is what the GOP is selling. You know, I just want to, like, these kids need better role models, man. You got to get better role models. And you want a good role model, look out there, look at Shaq. Look at LeBron. You know, don't look at some billionaire who hoards all their fucking money. Look at these people who give back. Look how generous these people are, right? Look at how generous Shaq is. Look at how generous LeBron is. Look at how they could be billionaires, both of them, probably. They chose not to be. Tiger Woods, prayerfully, will stay not a billionaire or not, you know, take that $1 trillion from Saudi. He didn't initially. Hopefully he still doesn't. You know, look up, there are people with principle who have penises too. And you don't need to look at these guys as some sort of fucking bastion of masculinity, because they're not. They're bitches. Straight up. In the most derogatory sense of the word. You know?
That's going to be my master's study, the penis principle.
That's just what I wanted to play. We're going to talk, I think, in the coming weeks more about that stuff, though. But, all right. One more news segment, and I'm calling it The Simps. I'm going to read you guys a collection of some of the people who simped the hardest for billionaires in the Trump family this week, and we could pick a winner after we play it off. So here's our news section called The Simps. Yep, The Simps, just The Simps. All right, so this week, Joe Rogan is our first candidate. Joe Rogan said essentially that Musk is too rich to be greedy. Joe Rogan sparked attention in a recent podcast with John Reeves when he once again defended his friend Elon Musk, saying Musk is a psychopath on the spectrum who wants to expose corruption, not take people's money. Rogan praised Musk, who he once described as his favorite billionaire, for taking on powerful entities, and questioned why anyone would think someone as wealthy as Musk with a net worth around $400 billion would need to steal from taxpayers. Sheesh. Laying on a little bit thicker. I don't know. Why does he want to fucking buy OpenAI if he's satisfied, right? That's stupid, fucking stupid. Second candidate, Brian Kilmeade, Fox and Friends morning host. Brian Kilmeade's quote is, "Why does the media have such a hard time believing that two powerful, successful, handsome men could work together with one objective? It's happened before, and America accepted it. Remember, for example, Lethal Weapon? 4 separate times. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover." It's a real fucking quote. I didn't make that up.
I have no doubt that they're working together. Like, they are in unity in giving the fucking richest 1% huge tax cuts. No disagreement here, my friend. We believe that they are unified. Okay, maybe there's a few, you know. But
yeah.
Yeah, they're just finding ways to give tax breaks to billionaires. Like, it's hilarious that people think that any of this is for the American people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, Mel Gibson is also a blazing racist, so there is some similarity.
Well, yeah, see what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it all works itself out. I just get so disheartened when I hear them say that it's like for the American people because it's just not. Like, it's just
not.
like I don't know how else to explain it to them. Like they're finding this waste that they've considered waste or whatever, and none of this money is coming back to you. We have an astronomical debt. They're not going to cut you a check. What are you talking about? They actually intend to raise the deficit.
Yeah, and your taxes. And your
What
taxes.
the? And
black and
I
white.
don't understand.
Is $5,000 going to pay for you never having Social Security? Is it going to pay for closing those hospitals in rural areas? Is that going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth not having to spend money to send your kids to private school because there's no public school in your area? Is it going to be worth all that? What's it fucking worth to you? Even if it's true. Even if it's true, which it's not. But even if it's true, is $5,000 going to pay for all that? Just saying. All right. Final simp is Congress simp Claudia Tenney from New York, who suggested that just as George Washington's birthday is codified as a federal holiday, President Trump's birthday should also be celebrated to recognize him as the founder of America's golden age. Yep. Yep. So
that one made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
Yep. That one's real gross. So I don't know.
Is there a holiday that you could request to work? Because that would be like the
one. I volunteer as tribute.
Oh no. All right. I don't know. We don't need to pick a winner. They're all.
I always hated Joe Rogan, though.
I know.
Always. That is the face of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
He's led the podcast bro revolution, though. Like, he influences a lot of fucking people, man.
And he started it by talking. If he ever talked about politics, it was far left leaning Bernie voters. That's what made him famous. So he definitely sold out harder than Wayne and Garth. My man sold all the way out. So anyway, we don't need to pick a winner or loser. That one's they're just losers. Just losers.
Yep.
Thought I'd bring it up though. Anyway, so let's get to this part of the show. Let's talk about something good. Something good, something you're reading, watching, something that happened to you, good story. Let's go reverse order. We'll start with Jake this time.
So this is probably the straightest thing I'll ever say, but I binge watched the shit out of Invincible. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's got a monster cast. I think like Sandra Oh is in it, and I love fucking Sandra Oh. Like, let me read a couple other ones. There's John Hamm, J.K. Simmons, like Seth Rogen. It's like always like so many people. Tim Robinson's come on it. It's a superhero show. It's like so loosely like based on like some superheroes, which is like funny, but it is disgusting. It is so gory. But I was intrigued and I loved it.
Wow.
And they're hour-long episodes, and I watched 3 seasons. I don't care, and I'm so excited for the next season.
Wow.
It's really fun.
Violent?
Violent as shit. Like disgustingly violent. Like organs like getting ripped out, like people getting ripped in half, like beheadings, like everything.
I love that.
But it's disgusting. Eyeballs popping out. They love an eyeball popping out. But like, it's fun. I love it. That's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been on social media or anything. I've just been binge watching the shit out of it.
I did, yeah.
And that's part of the Target ban too.
Yeah.
That was so hard. That was so hard for me.
All right. Anything else? Read anything?
I'm reading The Women in Cabin.
Of course.
Yeah. It actually is really good. It's gotten pretty good. I'm on part 3.
Ruth Ware. Cool. All right. Well, Brad, you're up.
Oh, yeah, dude. Guess what? 49 days until the fucking Masters. 7 weeks until the fucking Masters kicks off, my friend. Do you know that? I saw a thing yesterday, and you know what'll get me out of a fucking seasonal depression, the thought of the fucking Masters starting, dude. I'm telling you what, the Masters reminds me of spring, and I just know that sooner or later it's going to be warm again, and my brain needed that hit of dopamine because the Masters is in 49 days, and I can't wait to listen to the birds of Augusta.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Oh, glorious,
I don't want to.
John.
I don't want to shit on your parade, but here's what my anxiety does to me. Imagine it's the Masters. The Live Golf Tour is there. Everyone's wearing shorts. The screen is full of those weird things. Everybody's on a team. Nothing makes sense anymore. Up is down, left is right. It's not even in Georgia. It's in fucking Bedminster. That's where my brain's going. I hope to God I'm wrong. He's definitely going to show up, though. I mean, he's been everywhere else. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a great one, though. Love the Masters.
Yeah,
Also,
dude, I can't wait. Oh, my
shout out to the first place Cavaliers as well.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really excited for basketball playoffs to start. All right. How's The Alchemist going?
Oh, it's going slow. I've just been fucking living life, and I haven't really been reading it too much.
Yeah.
So I'm in like a rut, though. That seasonal depression. You whipping your ass sometimes. And me stuck in a funk.
Yep, for sure. All right. So for me, I'm White Lotus. I love appointment television, and HBO Sunday nights has always been like one of my favorite things. I always I try to get into whatever it is that it is, no matter what. Because
they changed the theme song.
So I was gonna ask, but apparently I didn't have to bring it up because everybody's dragging the new theme song.
So upset.
I didn't even notice.
Are you kidding me?
No, because I wasn't paying attention. I was getting
intros
snaps.
in my songs on Spotify. Like that's how much I fucking love the.
When was the last time a show even had a theme song before the Sopranos? It's been decades. Shows don't do theme songs.
That just makes it even cooler. It's so good.
It is. I agree. I'm down for bringing it back, but I'm excited for the whole fucking thing.
Fucking Big Bang Theory has a theme song.
All right.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Yeah. I'm just saying. It didn't. Of course, I didn't. I also didn't pay attention. So, but it is bothering everybody.
Invincible doesn't have a theme song.
I did hear though that there is a Thai version of the original theme song circulating in the rumor mills of the internet. So it's possible we'll switch something.
They better switch back.
So anyway, I did see I Think You Should Leave.
So fucking funny.
Tim Robinson's hilarious.
So funny.
If you don't follow him on TikTok, you should. It's called I Think You Should Reel. It's hilarious.
Give me that. Let me have that.
It's perfect. It's so me. It's so me.
The one that made me cry, tears of laughter, is the one where they're talking about the car. He's like, you probably love your mother-in-law, and then he fucking turns the whole people. I fucking love that shit. Oh, I love that show.
I thought you were the one where he crashes the hot dog car dressed like a hot dog.
Yeah.
He's like, who did this?
And the one where I sued the Charlie Brown parade float because I got sewn into his pants, and she's like, I hate bald men. I can't stand bald men.
It's really funny.
It's so good.
It's really funny. I'm down for this next season of White Lotus. It's cool that they got the Jennifer Coolidge's husband. I also heard floated around that maybe in this timeline she's still alive. Like maybe we've gone backwards in time. So people
don't do that to me.
It's possible. I'm just saying it's out there.
You already didn't bring back Aubrey Plaza. Don't do this to me.
Well, she might still be alive in this timeline too. So
she's perfect.
Always
so good.
Always recommend the Hysteria podcast, but they that's where I heard all these rumors. So check it out. So those are my things for the week. Anything else you guys want to add? That's the show for this week. Like and subscribe, please. We'd like to get some merch together to help us raise some funds. So what you can do if you like is to please pledge on our Substack to our cause. Costs no money right now. If we get enough pledges, we'll be able to get some merch made up, like t-shirts, mugs, hats, maybe. Yeah. So if you become one of our pledges, when we get that merch made up, would like to give something back to you. So we're going to sell the merchandise to you at cost and include 10% of your total pledge off as a coupon. So say you pledge $50, you'll get $5 off the cost of the shirt. So you'll be we'll be taking a loss, but we'll be happy to do it just to get that merchandise out there and to see you guys wearing it and to help promote the show. We really want to promote this thing. So it's something I hope that you consider. And thank you for everyone who did subscribe. Thanks for being here today with us. I'm John Wardle.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.